Hello everyone. So here we are at the first layer of our transformational journey, and it is identity. During this process of our transformational journey, and even going through the first layer, I do not expect you to feel comfortable throughout the entire process. That is not how transformational works. That's not how change works. Even when you talk about the caterpillar, everybody thinks of the caterpillar like it just goes into a cocoon and like falls asleep and then wakes up beautiful. No, that's not what happens. The caterpillar creates a cocoon, stays inside for an amount of time, and it completely decomposes. So when we talk about being introspective and picking ourselves apart in order to put ourselves together in a new way and to renew, it's an analogy. Be lucky that it is an analogy, because the caterpillar actually literally has to do it. They have to become like water, and then that alchemy allow it to renew it to a completely different creature. So don't be afraid of that, because nature has its way of doing it in a much more extreme way. So the fact that you have the opportunity to consciously kind of do it at your own pace, and it may feel a little uncomfortable, okay. At least you're not melting and completely decomposing. Right? So let's talk about this though. So part one of identity is environment. But before we get into that, let's make sure we're having the same conversation. So I like to always kind of pinpoint the definitions behind some terminology, so I can make sure we're having the same conversation. Because people identify with different words differently. I'll get into that another time. So identity. Identity means either number one, to completely just claim or own something to be. That's what you are. Or that's what something is. And you're claiming that as identity. Or you have like a spontaneous likeliness or linked connection to something that feels almost natural. Or to you, it is natural. And that goes into identify and what you identify with. Okay? What you identify with plays a part on your identity and what you claim to be. Boom. Now we're having the same conversation. Okay, so first step or first part in the first layer is our environment. Because the environment you came into in this world played a part to what you identify with. When you were born, if you came into a world of hearing beeping, of feeling suctions and feeling just certain things, if you felt a bottle before you felt a breast, that environment, those experiences are the first conditioning of what you relate to. That can be the first layer of conditioning on how you view a natural lifestyle. When I say natural, that is connected with nature. That is what God created naturally to flow and produce and prolong life. So when I use that term, that is what I'm talking about. Okay. That could be your first effect on how you connect with those things, or how you even connect with natural healing. Someone who was born in a hospital, and that is their first connection to this world, may connect to this world differently than somebody who's born in a water birth, or someone that was born at home. Someone who goes straight into the nurse's arms and in a back room may connect differently to someone that goes straight to their mother's chest and gets that chest to chest love and connection. Someone who gets their first feedings in life and first nurturing and first nutrition right from their mother's body may connect differently to people than someone who had to do it from a bottle. You see what I mean? Every step along the way plays a part in how you identify with yourself, with the world, and how you look at yourself and how you claim to be. Once you go home, because that's the next step. Once you leave the hospital and you go home, what kind of home is it? Is it a city life? Is it when you go home and the way walking into the door is cars moving fast outside? Is people walking by? Are you on a main street? Do you have to go up an elevator or stairs? Are you in a apartment or condo or loft? Are you in a house? Or are you in a mansion? You got to go up this long walkway just to even get to the front door. And then it's other people answering it for you and taking you into the home away from your parents. What is the environment? Is it one parent? Is it two parents? Is it one parent and grandparents? Is it two parents and grandparents? Is it just a mother? Is it just a father? What was your first connection that said, okay, this is what family looks like? Does your parent, if you have two parents, do they love each other? Do you look up and see hugs? Do you see them trying to sneak kisses? Or do you see them arguing over every little thing? Do you see unity and love every day and teamwork? Or do you see arguments and detachment? Do you see makeups and breakups? Do you see abuse, literal physical abuse? Or do you see hugs? Do you see kisses? Do you see hand holding? Do you see teamwork? Do you see even when arguments happen, they don't really like that they had to do that, and you see them make up with that, and you don't see another one for a long time? Do you smell food in your home? Does somebody cook? Are you a fast food home? Somebody, you just hear bags open and that's how you know food is here. What is the environment? What is the culture within your home that you identify with? A person that grows up in a household where it's based on survival, where the relationship itself that created them was survival based, that is a child that most likely doesn't have to be the rest of your life. If you're right here and that's your life, it doesn't have to be the rest of your life. But most likely, you started off with a mindset of survival. All the relationships in your life is based on what can they do for you? Or why are you here? How are you putting money in my pocket? Or why are you here? The only value in life is how somebody can help you survive in a material way. Now, you may be in a household where it's kind of survival in a sense, but it's in a different way. What are the values is what I'm trying to get to. Is it a value can be love. Love comes in different ways. It can come in support. It can come in just always encouraging. It can come in how you're being fed, literally and metaphorically. Like I said, it can come in literal support. It can come in bringing spirituality to the home. It can come in bringing knowledge to the home. What is valued in your home? Was knowledge valued in your home? Was skills valued in your home? Only certain skills valued in your home? Was religion valued in your home? Was drugs valued in your home? Addictions valued in your home? What was valued in your home? Because what was valued in your home imprinted on you, because that was your very first place you called home. So when you go out into the world, rather if it's what you want or not, when you see those things, you get a nostalgia. You connect to it. You identify with it because it identifies and resonates with your home space. It doesn't matter what society thinks is right or wrong, because you can find people that resonate with that. And now you identify with those people or those groups because they identify with your home. Why do people title themselves hood? Why do people title themselves this or that, or bougie or bourgeois or bougetto? What does that mean to them? It's an expression of their culture. Because when you walk outside, there's different types of neighborhoods. There's neighborhoods where you can't even see your neighbor. You're so far from them. There's neighbors where you're on top of each other. You can hear when they even make steps. You can hear when they wake up in the morning. There's neighborhoods where, it's house to house. But then you walk outside and you hear shooting, or you see what you see, Or there's just nothing but just vegetation and plants and things of that nature when you walk outside. Do you see liquor stores on every corner and churches? Or do you see the mosque? Or do you see temples? Or do you see grocery stores and markets, outside markets and exchanges and trading? What is your environment? Because your environment that you walk outside in every day, that grooms you for at least a good over a couple decades probably of your life, imprinted on you. That's how you see family. That's how you see community. That's how you see health and wellness. Because if you are more associated with hospitals and with Western medicine, you're more likely to trust in it versus somebody else who grew up around herbs and trading and born at home in the water and things like that. They'll be more trusting of Eastern medicine or more open to it, even if their family went from there to the hospital. They'll be more open to it because they were born that way. Somebody that has to go 5 miles to find a grocery store with healthy options, or a food place or a restaurant with healthy options, or vegetarian options, or just options, is less likely to care about health and wellness at all. They just want to eat. And if this is the neighborhood they grew up in, there's nothing wrong with that in them and their family and in their culture. They got Popeyes, okay? They got McDonald's, they got Burger King. Maybe they got Subway. That's the best they got over there. And they appreciate that. That's what they know. That's what they resonate with. To where when they even go to other restaurants and have all of these options, they're going to go with the chicken wings or the chicken sandwich because they know what that is. They can resonate with that. They identify with that. That feels safe. It's a safe bet. So that's the first level of understanding your conditioning. Your style, what you think is important, what you think is cool, what you think makes you at your best. We can be sitting in the same room with 10 people and they will value different things that they see when they walk in that room. Somebody may see people walk in the room and they like, she don't even got her nails done. But a person that they looking at is like, oh, I just got my fresh manicure. I feel so good. But because they're not long and colorful, they're less of a person to that person. Or they weave not long enough. Oh my God, like what's wrong with her hair? And they happy with about their new little twist out. Maybe somebody has a small chain because they just, to them, that's still a sense of class, but showing that but still having their gold on their neck gives them a feeling of royalty. When the next person, they have to have the biggest, longest chain to feel worthy in life. You know what I mean? Because that's their culture. That's how they were molded. Or maybe it's the knowledge that they have. Maybe to them, that's a sense of royalty. It's a sign. It's culture. It's all a part of your culture. So your culture, environment, family, the family culture, your neighborhood, all of that is why you identify with what you identify with. Because that comes with the art, that comes with the music. Your neighborhood has a artistic taste to it of what's good music and what's not. Yeah, you're going to have your little rare people, little bugs or whatever that listen to something that other people in their class not listening to. Me, because my parents are a little older than maybe some of my friends' parents at the time. Maybe my parents didn't let me listen to rap. I had to listen to just R&B for many years, especially at home. So it was all the Isley Brothers and Erykah Badu, and look at me. Look at me. Look at my whole energy. I'll come home and I'm hearing Jill Scott and India.Arie, to the Isley Brothers, and all of that soulful and just in love making type of music, so that's, or Patti LaBelle, like my mama loved her some Patti LaBelle, so that it made me real neo soul, like that was embedded and conditioned. But what was my culture of my neighborhood? So that's where I got my rap from. I got my rap from the neighborhood. Especially when I started driving, everybody leaving. I got my car first. Everybody leaving their CDs in my car because they don't have nowhere to put their CDs. So now I'm getting a collection of music from the culture of my environment. So then not only did I start liking rap music, I started rapping. As soon as I heard a woman rap that I could relate to, shout out to Charlie Baltimore, shout out to Eve, because I couldn't relate to Trina and Kim, even though I respect them as rappers and the legends that they are. I couldn't identify with the content. But when I would listen to Charlie Baltimore and she was talking about like being a down ass, you know what I'm saying, and being down for her dude and went to jail for him and all of that, like that was more in my nature because I was just such a family love. I was raised in a household that loved each other, that worked as a team. So embedded in me, seeing a woman and a man together every day, it was like, all right, this is what it looked like. That's what team looked like. And no matter what you go through, like, we right here. And that was just like my insides, my attitude. But for some reason, in the earlier stages of my life, I loved me a bad boy. Could it be because of the stories my father told me about him growing up? And I ended up liking men that related and resonated and identified with the person that my father was as a child. And I saw the potential in them because I see what my father became. So I'm like, they gonna be great. They just starting at this point. So now I'm dealing with all of this potential, not looking at what they resonate with. I'm just looking at what I resonate with, but what does their father look like? Do they have one? What are they identifying with? It doesn't matter what I can see or identify in them, because what do they identify with within themselves? They are identifying with something they saw on TV. That potential of that great man that can lead a household and be a great husband inside of them, they never even saw before. How can they identify with that? They've never even seen it. They didn't come home to that after the hospital. They didn't grow up with that. They don't see it in the music videos that they love to watch. Their homies don't look like that. Their homies' fathers don't look like that. How you identify matters. What you want in life is based on your experiences. So the first step in transformation is understanding what you connect to and why. I want you to write a list. However, how long you want it to be. Don't go past 10, but I say 7 words is good enough. how would you describe yourself? Write a list of words of how you would describe yourself. And then before you watch the next video, ask yourself why. Why do you describe yourself like that? Why are those words that connect with you? And don't hold back. Don't be like, because you watch this video, like, oh, I was just to say this, or I should say that. Nobody's going to see your list but you. If it say bad bitch on it, why? Trap star, why? King, why? Queen, why? Singer, writer, engineer, why? Because we're going to talk about it. We're going to bust down those layers of your list. So today's homework is just making your list and thinking about your environment. How did your environment affect your list? Layer 1, identity. Part 1, environment. Peace and love, you guys. Until the next video. Do the homework before you get to the next one, okay? Peace. Oh, wait. Before I leave, text the number below if you would like a one-on-one consultation or one-on-one coaching and just talking about life. You know, I have different ways. If you're not comfortable just talking about your life, we can do readings. We can do many different things. I have different techniques and different methods to bring about this conversation and then start your transformational process. So text the number if you are interested in one-on-one sessions, okay? I don't even really view myself as a coach because I'm not over you. I'm not just behind you. I'm not all in your ear. I'm more like your journey assistant. All right? I will assist you on your transformation journey. All right? Peace and love. Now we got talk soon.